With Deadpool 3, X-Men 97, Agatha, Darkhold Diaries, and many more MCU projects coming up soon, the MCU is getting really exciting once again. But apparently Marvel Studios has a ton of plans in store for this year's San Diego Comic-Con SDCC Hall H. According to some insiders, Marvel Studios was supposed to already have announced some pretty big things. However, it's looking like Marvel Studios really is taking time to focus on really making good quality movies and shows and just making good decisions in general. You all, of course, have heard about this, and Marvel Studios has pushed a lot of things back in order to make sure the quality is good. Unfortunately, it seems like when they pushed the movies and the shows back, they also kind of pushed back their agenda for their announcements. However, on the opposite side, the great news is it looks like San Diego Comic-Con this year is going to be action-packed with announcements. So let's dive into what they could talk about, from the X-Men to the recasting of Jonathan Majors and more. And if you're new and you love Marvel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. We're also giving away a PS5 and Xbox Series X. More on that at the end of the video. So to start it off, although there have been reports that stated the Fantastic Four cast might be announced by the end of this week, that was according to John Campea. He said that last week, but it now looks like that is yet another thing they're waiting for San Diego Comic-Con for. Now, if you haven't heard, Pedro Pascal just got confirmed to really be Reed Richards, and it looks like Marvel Studios is really doing everything they can to be the ones who officially announce the Fantastic Four cast. Today, you might have seen online, because everybody was talking about it, the SAG Foundation website confirmed that Pedro Pascal would be joining the MCU. Yesterday, Pedro Pascal attended the SAG-AFTRA Foundation Career Retrospective in LA, and in Pedro's bio description on the SAG website, not only did it say that he is joining the MCU, but it stated that he was going to begin production on the film, The Fantastic Four, soon. But here's the funny thing about that. Apparently they got the call from Marvel Studios, and that is no longer listed on their website. So if you have looked online and noticed that The Fantastic Four is trending, that is why, because of this big reveal. However, people have recently noted that it has been taken down, even after people have been linking this all day and have already seen it. But basically what this means is Marvel Studios wants everything to be in their own hands. Of course, we understand that. And according to Alex Perez, insider from the Cosmic Circus, when asked about why it's taking so long to announce the Fantastic Four cast officially, he said this: "Idealistically speaking, if you were Kevin Feige in Marvel and you wanted to officially confirm the cast that will play Marvel's first family for the next decade or so, wouldn't you want a grand spectacle and stage the size of the letter H?" So according to Alex Perez, Hall H is when we are going to get a grand spectacle for the announcement of the Fantastic Four, which makes perfect sense, especially if you consider Marvel Studios did not attend Hall H last year. And we all remember 2019, the ending of San Diego Comic-Con, where Kevin Feige said we didn't even have time to talk about Mutants or the Fantastic Four. Well, it looks like 2024, 5 years later, is when that is happening. It's actually crazy to think that that was that long ago, but it really was. It was 2019 SDCC. Well, it looks like he has time now in 2024. And speaking of the Mutants, it seems like Marvel Studios might have changed their plans a little bit for the X-Men, and it's a good thing. Based off of everything that we've heard over the past few years, it sounds like Marvel Studios was originally planning on waiting until after Phase 6, after the Multiverse Saga was over, to really introduce the new Mutants and new X-Men team in the MCU. However, plans might have changed because of Jonathan Majors. So obviously at this point in time, we all know that Kang was really supposed to be very involved in Phase 5 and Phase 6 throughout different projects a lot. But of course, since Jonathan Majors' trial, where he was found guilty and they let him go, he is no longer playing Kang the Conqueror, plans have changed. And based off of what insiders have heard, it sounds like Marvel is indeed going to recast Kang and not simply get rid of him altogether, but they are going to kind of sweep him under the rug for a bit, meaning Kang isn't really going to show up anywhere soon. He might be mentioned here and there, but really he's not going to be nearly as prominent as he was before everything happened with Jonathan Majors. So what insiders have been hearing, that we have reported on several times on the channel, is that Marvel Studios is going to reveal some new X-Men characters, some new mutants, sooner rather than later, meaning they could come in Phase 6. In fact, Deadline reported in September of last year, about 5 months ago, that their sources told them that Marvel Marvel is going to start setting writer meetings later this fall. Again, this was stated September of 2023, but they would start setting meetings with writers later this fall for pitches on its anticipated X-Men movie. They also said that it's more than likely that writer decisions will be made at the top of 2024, which is right now, plenty of time before SDCC. Forbes.com even reported about this as well with the headline, Marvel Studios begins early stages of X-Men franchise reboot. That was October 3rd of 2023. And based off of what we've heard from a report from thedirect.com and from other outlets as well, the movie that would be the X-Men movie could be called The Mutants. Of course, that is not officially confirmed at this time, so take that with a grain of salt, but it's clear Marvel Studios has plans for the X-Men in Phase 6. And to be clear, new X-Men, not the original ones from the Fox franchise, because we know they'll be in Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars as well. So that is happening because of the Jonathan Majors recast. And speaking of the recast, that is something that might be announced at SDCC. Justin Kroll from Deadline reported on January 5th, I see a lot of who will play Kang next, and here is a top contender for Kang comments this week, and I'll say this. Don't expect that news anytime soon. There will be plenty of Marvel breaks in coming weeks on various fronts, but don't hold your breath on that one. Now, these plenty of Marvel breaks in coming weeks on various fronts are the announcements that I mentioned in the beginning of the video that have probably been pushed back. Don't get me wrong, we'll still probably get some pretty cool announcements between now and SDCC, especially since Marvel Studios is attending CinemaCon and we're going to get the Deadpool 3 teaser trailer, etc. But the big news probably isn't coming till Marvel Hall H. Now, he said don't expect the Kang recast news anytime soon. Well, that was stated in January, and SDCC is in July, the end of July, so that is plenty of time. That is definitely not soon, so that could certainly happen at SDCC, and I know a lot of people are really waiting to see who they recast as Kang, or to see what happens with Jonathan Majors if he appeals and the decision is reversed and he is found innocent. Will Marvel Studios rehire him? We have no idea at this point in time, but hopefully we'll get some answers at SDCC. And of course, last but certainly not least, the complete reveal of Phase 6. What's kind of a bummer right now is it really looks like everything that Marvel Studios had planned has been pushed back to at least 2028, meaning we'll probably get Avengers Secret Wars in 2028, 4 years from now. Unfortunately, we had the strikes and we had all of the pushbacks, and now, of course, with Jonathan Majors being fired, it pushed a lot of things back, but that shouldn't stop Marvel Studios from revealing their plans. They usually let us know what they have planned years out, and they already revealed Phase 6 in part. Plus, not to mention, they've switched a lot of things up, so we have no idea what the current release schedule is for the rest of Phase 5 and Phase 6. Deadpool was supposed to be in Phase 6, but is now in Phase 5. It's actually before a lot of projects that were supposed to come before it, like Captain America, Brave New World, the Thunderbolts, etc. So we are fully expecting a Phase 6 update, with most of it being revealed. I state most of it because I think Marvel Studios is still making some final decisions on what they would like to include in it. So they're going to leave room to be able to add things. But hopefully we get announcements for these reported projects like Doctor Strange 3, the Scarlet Witch solo film, maybe a special presentation for the Silver Surfer or Nova. So a lot to look forward to, and many insiders seem to think that Hall H is where everything is really going to go down for Marvel Studios this year. And really not just this year, but over the past few years, this is probably going to be the biggest event in a very long time. So let me know how excited you are for Hall H in the comments down below, and what would you like to hear announced by Marvel Studios? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, and some DC items. The winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.